There was a time when Project Cars was considered the future of racing games. A brand new racing franchise with no history somehow managed to compete with legends like Forza and Gran Turismo. The first game was praised for its ambition. The second game was even nominated for awards and was considered by many players to be one of the best racing simulators ever created. Project Cars wasn't just another racing game. It was an underdog that looked like it could be the next big thing. But just a few years later, that same franchise was completely gone. The community that once supported it turned against it. The third game changed everything fans loved about the series, and the company behind it eventually abandoned the franchise entirely. So how did Project Cars go from being one of the most exciting racing series in the world to becoming one of racing's biggest disappointments? This is the rise and fall of Project Cars. Before Project Cars became a failed franchise, it was a dream. At the time, racing fans were frustrated. Gran Turismo was becoming slower with releases, and Forza dominated the Xbox ecosystem. Hardcore racing fans wanted something new, something made specifically for them. And that's where the idea of Project Cars came from. The idea was almost unheard of. A racing simulator built with direct input from the community. The name itself, Community Assisted Racing Simulator, it represented exactly what the fans wanted. This wasn't a corporation trying to sell another racing game. It felt like a passion project created by racers, for racers. That excitement would turn Project Cars into one of the biggest surprises in gaming. When Project Cars released in 2015, nobody expected it to compete with established franchises, but immediately people noticed something was different. The game looked like a AAA racing simulator. Dynamic weather, day and night cycles, a massive car roster, real-world tracks, and you also had support for racing wheels and VR. For a first attempt, it was pretty good. Sure, the game had bugs, the physics weren't perfect, but everyone could see the potential. This wasn't just a good first game. It felt like the beginning of a new racing powerhouse. And Project Cars 2 wasn't just an improvement. It was the moment where the franchise reached its full potential. The game expanded on everything that made Project Cars 1 so amazing. More cars, more tracks, more racing disciplines, better weather systems, and better multiplayer. It felt like Slightly Mad Studios had created the ultimate racing sandbox. You could race almost anything, anywhere, and any condition. For many fans, this was the peak of Project Cars. The series had gone from an ambitious experiment to a legit competitor against the biggest names in racing. At this point, the future looked unstoppable, but this would also be the last time Project Cars was truly loved by its original audience. Behind the scenes, things were changing. In 2019, Slightly Mad Studios was acquired by Codemasters, the same people who made the F1 games. On paper, this seemed like the perfect opportunity. More money, more resources, a bigger team. Literally everything Project Cars needed to become even bigger. But the next game would completely change what Project Cars was. The biggest issue wasn't that the game was bad. It was that it abandoned everything that made Project Cars so special. The franchise built its reputation on realism, simulation, authenticity, but Project Cars moved in a completely different direction. The realistic simulator had become more of an arcade-focused racing game. Features that longtime fans cared about were removed. Physics were changed, and the focus shifted from motorsport simulation to more accessibility, and the reaction was immediate. Fans who helped build Project Cars felt like they were left behind. The hero of the racing genre has become almost unrecognizable, and after Project Cars 3 failed to connect with fans, the franchise never recovered. Project Cars Go attempted to bring the series to mobile, but it failed to make an impact. Then after EA acquired Codemasters, future Project Cars projects were cancelled. And just like that, a franchise that once looked at the future of racing games was gone. Project Cars was one of racing's biggest missed opportunities. Because the thing is, the series had everything. It had the technology, it had the community, and it had the ambition. Project Cars 2 proved that Slightly Mad Studios could make something special. But by changing the identity of the franchise, they lost the people who believed in it. And that's why Project Cars went from hero to zero. Not because the idea failed, but because the series forgot what made it great. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so please leave a like and subscribe for more racing content. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.